The struggle for civil rights has long been a passionate and often turbulent aspect of American history, marked by courageous individuals and monumental shifts that still resonate today. By exploring the significant events that have shaped the movement, we begin our journey through the past turning points, including the courageous battles for freedom and equality. As we set out, we'll look at the luminary figures and key changes that sparked a broader conversation on what it means to live with justice and dignity in America. Historical context and key movements. In understanding the civil rights movement in America, we must look back at key events that have significantly altered its course. Each pivotal moment became a stepping stone, shaping the journey toward equality and justice. The civil rights movement, pivotal moments and their impact. The civil rights movement has been a vast and complex tapestry of struggle and triumph, marked by key instances that significantly altered its trajectory. The slavery abolition. The first significant stride came with the Emancipation Proclamation in 1863, passed by President Abraham Lincoln. This pivotal decree marked the beginning of the end for slavery, declaring that all persons held as slaves within the rebellious states are, and henceforward shall be free. The Civil Rights Act of 1964. Fast forward to the 20th century, and we encounter the Civil Rights Act of 1964. A comprehensive law prohibiting discrimination based on race, color, religion, sex, or national origin. This transformative legislation directly resulted from the tireless efforts of civil rights leaders and activists who, despite facing severe oppression, galvanized public sentiment through nonviolent protests and civil disobedience. This act significantly dismantled the legal foundations of segregation and discrimination. The Voting Rights Act of 1965. Another monumental step came with the Voting Rights Act of 1965, which enforced the 15th Amendment and eliminated obstacles that barred racial minorities from voting, like poll taxes and literacy tests. The Fair Housing Act of 1968. The Fair Housing Act of 1968 marked a critical turning point in the realm of housing. This legislation was enacted to eradicate housing discrimination and promote residential integration. Recent struggles and movements. In more recent history, the persistent issues of police brutality and systemic injustice have led to the birth of new movements like Black Lives Matter. The struggle for civil rights has never been linear. Every chapter of this ongoing story is interwoven with setbacks and victories, reflecting an America continually evolving in its understanding and commitment to civil rights. Current civil rights challenges and legal landscape. Contemporary civil rights issues, a glimpse into today's struggles for equality. As we step forward in the 21st century, the civil rights discourse continues to evolve, touching on a range of issues that reflect the changing dynamics of our society. Social justice and intersectionality. The term intersectionality, coined by scholar Kimberly Crenshaw, has become pivotal in understanding how different aspects of a person's identity can lead to varying forms of discrimination. LGBTQ+ rights. The fight for the rights of the LGBTQ+ community has taken center stage. Issues like same-sex marriage, which achieved a landmark victory with the Supreme Court's ruling in Obergefell-Hodges, are now joined by broader concerns. Voter suppression and election fairness. Despite the landmark successes of previous decades, voter suppression remains a pressing issue. Initiatives to ensure that all citizens can exercise their right to vote without onerous restrictions continue to be a focal point of civil rights activism. Immigration and rights of non-citizens. In an increasingly globalized world, the rights of immigrants and refugees are a central element of the civil rights conversation. Economic inequality. The gap between the haves and have-nots continues to widen, and civil rights activists argue that economic inequality is not merely an economic issue, but also a civil rights issue. Disability rights. The Americans with Disabilities Act, ADA, was a milestone in recognizing and addressing the rights of individuals with disabilities. Environmental justice. Environmental issues are increasingly seen through the lens of civil rights, as marginalized groups often bear the brunt of environmental degradation. If you want to learn more about us, you can visit www.aceonadustyroad.com.